As an American, I want to speak about where I think we are at in this time, in this place, with our culture and our people, with an analogy of sorts. Damn water pump. There once was a tyrant known as the Tyrant of Shang, or King Zhou. Now, historically speaking, we don't know exactly how bad King Zhou was. However, in the beginning, first half of his reign, he led multiple successful military campaigns to wipe out enemies that had been pains in the rear ends for multiple generations at this point. So he did successfully do that. 2-year-long military operations. Now, this caused taxation to rise, and so despite the people producing more things, they were being squeezed out of their share of the profits. Now, in the second half of King Zhao's rule, he's reported to have spent money on elaborate palaces, he's reported to have persecuted his enemies, executed anyone who was a threat to him or that spoke out against him. Now, we don't know how much of that's myth and how much of that's historical fact. And eventually, the Zhou people, not to be mixed up with King Zhou himself, the Zhou people eventually rose up, an armed rebellion, and ended the Shang Dynasty. The Tyrant of Shang eventually backed into a corner, fled to his grand palace, and set himself on fire to make sure he wasn't captured alive. Now, within this tale, there's a point in time where the rebels are preparing to bring down the tyrant. They are in a time of hardship. And when you are in a time of hardship, if the time to act is not right, one should keep still. Keeping still does not mean giving up. It simply means waiting for the time to be right. Waiting for the time to be auspicious. And I think that's where we're at right now. With this dynasty we call the United States. This current dynasty of the United States. I think we're at the state where we're all keeping still because the time to act isn't quite right yet. And while we're keeping still, this is a reminder to gather friends. To not just place your joy in a selfish place, but to find joy in the joys and delights of others. Because that is where true joy and true delight come from. that is the only way forward. Sorry, I've been watching too much Walking Dead. Never watched it, decided to binge watch it, and that theme in particular feels like it is drilled into that show. This idea of living a life not of selfishness, but one in which the joys of those you care about around you is just as important as the joy for yourself. And so yeah, that's I think I can leave it there. We're at a good time to keep still. We're in the darkness. We don't know what's going to happen yet. We're just kind of waiting for the right moment. And until then, again, gather friends. We're going to need them. Good luck, soldiers.